Good evening, students. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear.
I'm Dr. Silvarani Lanko. Working as head of the department in Horizon campus. This is my first class for you all. We are going to do inclusive education, but according to the module, it's a special education subject, right? So under subject special education only, the inclusive education is there because now we have inclusive education system in Sri Lanka. Okay. So inclusive education means, right? So that children who are normal and also the differently able children mixed, right, in the same class under one roof. So there's no discrimination between normal children and the differently able children. All are going to be together, right? For certain subject, the differently able children might be doing in a separate class, right? Uh, so, so you can see here, right? All type of people are together. So this is what inclusive education. So the inclusive education means the differently able children, normal children, all are together in a same class. So here, can you see this slide? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So any child may experience a special need during the course of educational years, right? So UNESCO is the one of the NGO worldwide working for education, right? So some children feel left out and never enter school or enter for only for a few years. And as repeaters become dropouts or more correctly pushed outs. So without their needs having been met. So these are the things what happened for a long time, right? So those who are differently able, right? So the children will push out from the schools, right? No one is treating them in a same way. They are no respect, and the differently abled children means they are not normal IQ children. So the teacher is also neglecting. So ultimately, what happened was this type of children will pushed out from the school. They will be at home, right? So mostly, so the special need children are very few percentage in Sri Lanka for a long time, but now the special need children percentage is increasing, right? So nowadays you can see there are a lot of special education need centers are there, right? So the government is pressing that all the children have to be in the same school, right? Uh, but to see, right? So some special need children, that means hyperactivity or Down syndrome, right? So, and mental retarded children, they can't be in the same classroom, with the other children, right? So these children are vivid illustration of the failure of school to teach rather than the pupils' failure to learn. A school system emphasizing education for all should ensure the right of all children to a meaningful education based on individual needs and abilities. So this is one person's explanation, right? Peter Johnson, 2002. So all over the world, there are special need children, different able children. So different countries treat them in different way. So most of the Commonwealth countries are giving more priority for these special need children, right? So they are caring more and they are having a separate system for them in the same school. Separate classroom is there. So you can see some disabilities among children. So physical problem can be there, right? Physical means we can see that issues or the defect outside, hearing impairment, visual impairment. And then communication disorders, speech impairments, oral language disorders. Some children are stuttering. Behavior disorders, hyperactivity and attention disorders, suicidal tendencies, and mental retardation. So here, segregation, disabled people of all ages or those learners with special educational needs being placed in any form of segregated educational setting. This tend to force disabled people to lead separate life. So disabled people of all ages, right? So if a child is disabled, right, when the child grows, he will be an adult but disabled, right? So being placed in any form of segregated education setting. So normal children, they don't want to keep their children with them, right? So recently, our campus students organized a program for the community service, right? So we went for the community this center, right? So that center is having disabled children, differently able children, or special need children. So we collected some play materials and foods, clothes, and balls, all those things. Our children collected money, and we went and participate with them. We our children have a time, right, with them for 3 hours, right? So we also accompany with them to see. So one sister trained by NIE was there with another 3 teachers, right? So they are the people who are looking after those children. More than 25 were there. So they told earlier they had good children in that center. So they have started as a Montessori, right? And they had normal children. Later, one by one, parents came and dropped the differently able children there and vanished. So the sister is looking after those children. The parents didn't come. So actually, they wanted to. Um, they are not taking back the children. They are not coming back. The parents, right? So in that way, so later what happened was the normal children left that school. Parents took the normal children out of that school because the number of differently able children are increasing. Right? So see the attitude of the parents. They don't want to keep the children with differently able children, right? So, but now under inclusive education, everyone have to be together, right? So why they are doing like that, right? Each and every child have human rights, education rights, right? So everyone is having right to go to good schools. So if they are in the different school, they will be their peers also with the disability. So every day they are meeting disabled children, so they lose their confidence. If the children are in the normal school, right, so they will get some confidence. We are also treating like the other students, right? So in that is the objective of having students together. So that's what integration, right? So to avoid the segregation, so integration, inclusive education introduced means disabled children or children with learning difficulties attending mainstream schools. The child is accepted into the ordinary school but is often taught in a separate classroom. The child has little or no contact with his or her non-disabled peers, right? So segregation means, so the disabled people will disable some more, right? They lose the confidence. If there is a segregation, the children will get some they're thinking that they're accepted by the ordinary people. So among these differently able children, right? So these type of characteristic problems you can see. Normally, these children have inferiority complex. Right? They are comparing themselves with the others. So they can feel, right? We are not the same like normal children. So inferiority complex. Lack of understanding because they are already low IQ or sometimes they are very good in some areas, right? So the lack of understanding like normal children, adjustment problem. Because of inferiority complex, the adjustment problem will come. Isolated and segregated. Because of that, the child want to be alone, right? And lag behind, not working with others. Feeling of extra burden. So that child is not happy in the class. A lack of expression, introvert nature, right? So he's not a sociable person, negative approach and shyness. So you can see these type of characteristic in these special need children. So the Alur 2002 is explaining inclusion is about minimizing exclusion and fostering participation for all students in the culture within a wider framework of support for all children in ordinary school. Right, so we are having inclusive education in Sri Lanka now. So you must know what is inclusive education, and inclusion is about minimizing exclusion and fostering participation for all students in the culture within a wider framework of support for all children in ordinary school. So in ordinary school, right, everyone will be there, right? So this is what the A definition or explanation, correct explanation of inclusive education is a new approach towards
Madam,
education.
show me the
Yes.
early one, the previous one. No, before that, the earlier one. Slide. Yes, okay. Okay, madam. It's okay. Now move on to the next one. I have to get screenshot.
Right. So inclusive education is a new approach towards educating the children with disability and learning difficulties with that of normal ones within the same roof. So if they ask what is inclusive education, you have to answer like this. So what is inclusive education? It's a new approach towards educating the children with disability and learning difficulties with that of normal ones within the same roof, right? So you can see the background picture. So different type of people, that means children are there, right? Even in the adult education, it will be the same. So the meaning of inclusive education. So the earlier one is the explanation, definition of inclusive education. Here, meaning of inclusive education. So inclusive education is defined as a learning environment that promotes the full personal, academic, and professional development of all learners, irrespective of race, class, color, gender, disability, sexual preference, learning style, and language. Right? So we are not going to see any the differences of children, right? Including the differently able things, right? So there's no race, no class, no color, no gender, no, we are not thinking of disability, sexual preferences, even the learning styles and language, right? All are
Excuse me, madam. Madam, oh, madam, go again.
Sorry for the disturbance. Right. So the meaning of inclusive education. So this internet connection is a little bit unstable. So inclusive education is defined as a learning environment. Can anyone say what is learning environment? Learning environment. Because as teachers, we have to create a learning environment for our children, right? So inclusive education means we have to create a learning environment for these type of children. That means different children are in the classroom. Differently able plus normal children are in the classroom, right? So inclusive education is defined as a learning environment that promotes the full personal, academic, and professional development. Personal, academic, and professional development. Personally, the children have to develop. Academically, they have to develop. And professionally develop. Of all learners, irrespective of race, class, color, gender, disability, sexual preference, learning style, and language, right? So this is a picture with inclusive education. So don't think that only 4 children are there. A piece of this picture. So differently able children also with the wheel chair, one student is there, right? So that's it. So everyone, the normal children plus differently able children are together in the same class means it's an inclusive environment. So the learning environment means we are creating learning environment for each and everyone, right? So if we are preparing one lesson plan for these type of children, it is not suitable, right? So we have to have uh, a plan, lesson plan to satisfy all type of learners, right? So that is what the learning environment. Normally, even in the normal class, there are different children with 3 types of learning styles: visual learners, kinesthetic learners, and auditory learners. So we have to satisfy them, right? Excuse me 1 minute. Right. So these are the principles of inclusive education, right? So the principles means maybe theory, right? Or basic. These things are, we are going to follow these things, right? So principles of inclusive education, no discrimination with students, because there are different students in class, right? Normal children, differently able children, with visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners, right? So differentiate students, right? So you have to differentiate your teaching methods also. So no discrimination. So if a teacher is going to support the normal children, there will be a discrimination, right? So equal educational opportunity to all, right? So the teacher have to maintain the learning environment, right? For that means to give each and everyone to learn something, right? Because differently able children are there, slow learners are there, gifted children will be there, average children will be there, but the teacher have to maintain all those categories, right? And they have to learn something, right? So equal educational opportunities to all. School adapt to the need of student. So the need of student, we have to consider equal educational benefits for all students. So the students' views are listened to and taken seriously. Right? So there will be some issues and queries, because at first, right? So the children will not be mingled together, there are differences, but the teacher have to maintain that and advise them and practice the good practices with the children, right? So everyone is uh, 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 right to have education, and everyone can come to any school, right? So everyone must respect each other, right? And individual differences between students are source of richness and diversity and not a problem, right? So most of the countries are now multi-ethnic, right? So they are thinking that multi-ethnic system is richness and diversity, different type of children, different style, learning style children are there. So that mixture is give richness to the education. Right, so that is the principles, right? Here you can see aims and objectives of inclusive education. So why they have introduced inclusive education in Sri Lanka, right? Inclusive education is not only in Sri Lanka, all over the world they have introduced. So why inclusive education? Earlier we didn't use this name, right? So aims and objectives of inclusive education is education for all. This is UNESCO's motto, right? And protection of rights. Each child is having right for education. Identification of skills, right? So some differently able children will have a rich skill, right? One side is well developed. So development of social consciousness to prepare for new challenges, development of brotherhood to improve quality of education. Right, so I told earlier we don't have much differently able children in Sri Lanka, but now it is increasing. Right, so they are also going to be a percentage in our population. So they also our community people. They also have to live, right? So lead a life. They need a job, right? So everyone uh, so everyone so they are also like to live now, right, peacefully. So to prepare for new challenges, right, they introduce inclusive education. So this is need and importance. Why it is introduced, why it is important, why we need inclusive education now, right? So to fulfill the constitutional responsibilities, to enable children to stay with their families, for the development of healthy citizenship, for achieving the universalization, developing feeling of self-respect for social equality and self-reliance. So we have to make the differently able children also to certain extent to self-reliant. They also have to live. They have to lead a life, right? So to fulfill the constitutional responsibilities, because human rights is there, enable children to stay with their families, for the development of healthy citizenship, for achieving the universalization, developing feeling of self-respect, for social equality and self-reliance. So here you can see, right, this is 2004. Very recently, they introduced this inclusive education. right, in 2004, scope of inclusive education as well thought out inclusive education program has the potential to meet the diverse educational need of all children. This diverse educational needs. Even the normal children have diverse educational needs. All the children are not learning in the same way. Their interest is different. Their potential is different, right? So according to Howard Gardner, there are 8 intelligence in each child. So, within that 8 intelligent, right? So some children will show 1 or 2 intelligence in a peak way, right? So even in your class, when you're learning in school, you could have seen, right? Some children are exceptional in sports, right? Some are in creativity, drawing, right? And some are in handcrafts, good in handcrafts. So some people can sing very well. Some people can dance very well, right? So some children, you are selecting some people to compare your programs. So that means different people have different abilities and intelligence, right? So according to Howard Gardner, even though there are 8 intelligence, we are using only 3 in school, right? So all the other intelligence are not evaluated by teachers. For that only they introduced the continuous assessment, right? You can check the other type of intelligence also, right? So why we are giving group activity? There are different ability children will be in the group and they can utilize their potential, their talents, right? So one child can write down nicely, one can draw, one can this explain, right? And one can prepare a slide, right? So different children's talent will be used in group activity, right? So one can present well, right? So all will learn to respect each other, sharing the knowledge, carrying each of them, and working as a team, right? So those things also important. So here you can see the categories of inclusive education, children. So children in remote tribal areas, working children, children with disabilities, girls living in difficult circumstances in some countries, some areas, right? So they are not allowing children, girls especially, for education, right? Children with HIV, AIDS, and other chronic illness, children of migrant laborers, and street children, and all other children, right? So, especially in some countries, right, street children, they are begging, they are not going to school, right? So, once the government tried to put those street children to school, but they don't like to go to school, right? So, they are happy with the money they are gaining and they are using drugs and all, right? So they don't like to go to the normal school setup, right? So once the children used to that type of life, it's very difficult to bring them out, right? So if child, you will know that there are homes for them, right? Um, so if the children under 16 year of age, if they do some this uh, the uh, the killing or robbery or anything, right? So um, So they're not going to the jail, right? So they have a different place for them, right? So they will educate them, and later even they can sit for the exams also, right? So here you can see the process of inclusive education. Please read this and see whether you can understand. So the process of inclusive education, what we are doing under inclusive education, right? So that concept. So your the institution have given one book in Sinhala, right? Uh, Even though it says inclusive education, the content is for special education. I will show that, right, later. But you have to understand what is inclusive education also, because it is also coming under special education, because special need children also learning in a same environment like normal children, that is inclusion, right? So awareness, right? Awareness raising on the right to education for all children at local, regional, and national level, right? So right to education for all children at local, regional, and national level. And parent support to understand their children's educational, social, and sometimes medical needs, right? So if a child is a special need child, the parents have a big role to play, right? So, so when I'm working at National Institute of Education, so under me, I only initiate the sign language program under special education. So the under sign language education, we educated the parents of these special need children, because to attend the special need children, especially um, the children who can't speak here, right? So so how they can communicate with the child? So sign language. So we have been visited for many places, right? So where that type of children was there, right? So it's a very pathetic situation. So they are very uh, they are communicating in a different way very quickly, but we can't understand anything. But the parents, they wanted to learn that sign language to speak with the children, right? So the parents support, because why they are learning, why they are coming and join to this program and learning, they like to support the child, right? So they are sacrificing their whole life for their children. Even though in the inclusive education, it is not well developed in Sri Lanka, one of my this colleague, right? She also worked as a teacher. Her one child is a special need child. Because of that child, he got early retirement from the job, and he's going to school with the child, right? So she's like a shadow teacher for that her own child, right? So she used to share the experience of what is happening in the school, right? So the teachers, the normal teacher is not uh, caring for the special need child. So that's what possibly that teacher is also going and staying there and taking back the child to home. And when the excursion in the school is organizing, they don't want to take this child, but possibly this parent is also going, paying money and taking the child with them, right? So that type of children, they are facing a lot of issues, right? So we are just thinking that they will not excluded these type of children, but it is happening, right? So normal in the group activity, they don't like to take these different labeled children, because there's a competition among groups now, right? So they are thinking they will lose, right? Because of this type of children. So the special need children are facing a lot of issues when they are in the inclusive setup. So the parent support is important, normal, even for normal children, normal primary children. Especially in the early childhood education is with parents, right? And policies, developing inclusive education policies, revising existing policies. But we didn't do this, right? We didn't develop a new inclusive education policy. All policy is going on with the normal children, but we have included these type of children. So that is also needed. And teacher training programs, right? So they have to have the teacher training program, especially for special need children, the teachers. Because special need children are there means to teach them, we need special need teachers, right? In the College of Education, every year they are training a group of students, a group of teachers for special need. But most of the teachers, they are not working for special need children. So that's what I told in Sri Lanka. A small percentage of children are these coming under special needs. So one or two children will be there, right? So in rarely one or two schools have more children, right? For them, they will serve. Other than that, and they don't like to be a special need teacher also, right? So once most of the special need teachers, College of Education teachers came for the Bachelor of Education to do the Bachelor of Education degree program. So they didn't apply for the special education degree program in BL. We had that program, but mostly they applied for primary. So, so I questioned them why you all have done the basic national diploma in teaching in special education, but why don't you continue with that? So they are thinking, no, we don't want to be with that type of children. So then I asked them, then why you all joined to that program, special need program? So at that time they told, right, so if we are applying for special need education, the chances are more to selected by the colleges. That's what they applied. So that type of attitudes also among the teachers, right? That is the um, reality, right? And some teachers, right? Actually I uh, shared my experience with one community program of our campus students. In that, we saw the one sister and three teachers. They are very committed, and so they are the service, of course, um, it's extraordinary because different. So differently able means the worst um, type of students also there, small ones, right? So they have to feed and every time they have to clean them. So patiently, they are very committed and doing, right? So especially for working in the special need child, that's a side, I think you have to have more patience than the normal teacher, right? So that's what the teacher training program is to promote inclusive practices. So now the normal teacher is trained for teach the normal children, not this these differently able children. But there will be a training program for both, right? And specialized techniques for teaching children with their range of learning and communication styles and needs, right? So inclusive education is not an easy task, right? Just we can explain and we say inclusive education, right? But it will take time. So inclusive education is educating all students in age-appropriate general education classes in their neighborhood schools with high quality instruction, intervention, and support so all students can be successful in the core curriculum. That is the expectation, right? So then think of a blind child, right? So is that child can do the normal work, right? So as an inclusive class, sometimes the blind child also can be there, right? So inclusive schools have a collaborative and respectful school culture where students with disabilities are pursued to be competent, develop positive social relationship with peers, and are fully participating members of the school community. Right? So inclusive schools have a collaborative and respectful school culture where students with disabilities are presumed to be competent, develop positive social relationship with peers, and are fully participating members of the school community. So inclusive schools are different from normal schools. So inclusion is an educational approach and philosophy that provides all students with community membership and greater opportunities for academic and social achievements, right? So inclusion is an educational approach. Inclusive education also a new approach, right? Schools and districts have a zero rejection policy when it comes to registering and teaching children in their region, right? So zero rejection policy, right? So a principal have to register, right, any type of children to that school. That means with that area, they have to register, but it is not happening in the reality. Some principals are asking, no, here we don't have a special need teacher, so you can go to this school. He's naming one school, and that school is having special need teachers. So you just like they are actually they don't like to take that type of children, right? So still we are in the developing process, right? So all children are welcomed and valued. So this is actually this is the inclusive education objective. All children are welcomed and valued. So under principles of inclusive education, all children belong, all children learn in different ways. It is every child right to be included. So apart from admitting children with mild disabilities, right? So in the coming lessons, we will learn what are the disabilities, how you can identify the disabilities in children, minor disabilities especially, right? So apart from admitting children with mild disabilities who can be educated in regular classrooms, inclusion also addresses the needs of hundreds of children already present in regular classrooms who are affected by mild and moderate learning difficulties which go largely undetected and untreated. So this is the research findings, right? So many children with mild disabled are not recognized by the teacher, identified by the teacher with the same difficulties the child is leaving the school, right? So that's what the teachers have to train to identify the inclusive, that means special need children, right? So some children have some visual defect, hearing defect. So we will learn some main disabilities. So you will learn what are the disability is. When we are talking about inclusion in school, this have to happen in our schools now. These children carry the risk of becoming dropouts due to poor school performance and may suffer from irreparable psychological and emotional trauma throughout their growing up years, besides never being able to achieve academic success. So some children, they are not in the track. That means they can't study because of their sickness, right? So that type of children will have psychological and emotional trauma throughout their growing up years, beside never being able to achieve academic success. So that type of children, right? So we have to teach the attitudes, right? And they must know how to read and write, right? To live in the society. So that much is enough because they are not in a position to learn more. So poor sensitivity of stakeholders, administrators, teachers, parents, and peers, and lack of readiness of the system become additional factors contributing their deviation. So even in Sri Lanka, we have just made the schools inclusive schools, right? But we never think of the infrastructure and how these differently able children are going to manage with the normal children, whether we are having a good learning environment for them, even the blackboard, switches, chairs, washrooms, steps, right? Most of the schools, right, are having steps, not most of the schools don't have lifts. So how they are going to move from one this place to another floor, right? So those things also we have to think. So because if we are recruiting one special need child, that child going to be there for 13 years. So definitely the infrastructure have to be developed, right? So what are the requirements and modification for inclusive schools? What we have to do, right? So just we are saying that we are having inclusive education, but we have to prepare these things. Sensitization, everyone knows who is special need children, right? What type of issues are there, right? So we have to modify curriculum. So normal curriculum is not suitable for them, right? So modify curriculum. And especially evaluation system, right? So we can't give the same paper for the differently able children also. But what we are doing is in inclusive school, same papers are going to deliver for them also, right? And access and a barrier-free environment. How they can move here and there, right? So every day the children can't carry them to another floor, no. So the principal have to think of that access and a barrier-free environment. So resource teacher and resource room. So in the most Commonwealth countries, there is a resource room for special needs children, right? Service of therapists and counselors. So therapist counselors also have to be available in the school. And sensitization, a number of challenges still need to be addressed to implement the aims and objective of an inclusive society. The attitudinal barriers. So the attitudinal barriers ingrained as part of India's historical response to disability must be worked upon through educational programs for sensitizing both teachers and the general population. So normally we are empathic. We are going to see the children in different way. That is not good. If the child is coming to an inclusive school, everyone is safe. Right? So if we are going to see them as differently able children, so actually it is not valid for inclusion school, right? To get some confidence only, they are coming to this school. So create social advocacy campaigns. So the teacher and the other students must aware of these children, and they have to respect these children and help for these children. So that is the learning environment we have to create. So create social advocacy campaigns using social media platforms to sensitize students and stakeholders in the field of higher education. So now what type of schools we are expecting to implement in inclusive education? So first of all, we have to think of this, right? So inclusive education means that schools have to have modified curriculum. 4 factors influence the effectiveness of curriculum modification. How we can modify? According to the individual needs, because different people are there, right? Subject specific needs, especially math science, will not be able to do it by these differently able children, right? So subject specific needs. And also teachers' role and school support and use of technology. Right? So the teaching methods, right, is the teacher must know to do in different way. Because first of all, the teacher have to categorize the children's potential. Different children are there in the classroom, right? So you have to attend in different way. Right. So once we visited to a school in Thailand, especially to learn about these special need children and the teachers. So they took us to one school and we observed one lesson of a teacher. Right. So those children, nearly it's 15, no, there are 4 groups. With 20 children, 5 students, right? So the teacher categorized into 4, create 4 groups, right? At the same time, they are well developed, that teachers and that schools are well developed in technology even at that time. The teacher divide the board also into 4 and giving separate work for all 4 groups. And the teacher is running here and there for with 4 groups and very actively uh, teaching, right, and motivating, and she achieved the objective within the stipulated time, right? So the children is able to do whatever she expect. So that type of training our teachers also have to have, right? So according to the individual needs, subject-specific needs, teachers' roles and schools support and use of technology. This technology will be helping more for special need children. Every children love to watch films, watch videos, right? So that will be very helpful. So modified textbooks. So the normal textbooks also not suitable, right? And differentiated instruction. So this differentiated instruction, normal instruction, of course, our normal procedure, how we are teaching. But differentiated instruction means, right, we have to identify the different children's category, their learning style, right? And we have to use different type of teaching method for each group, right? So according to their potential, right, we can't give same exercise for all, right? Alternative evaluation system, alternative subject choice. So evaluating system also have to be changed, right? So the same system we are following for the normal children is not suitable for differently able children, right? So that setup was not developed yet in Sri Lanka. And inclusion in school, access and barrier-free environment. So what is the barrier-free environment? After implementation of Right to Education Act 2009, and to ensure such barrier-free environment for children with locomotor disability, especially for children who use a wheelchair, tricycle, a walker, crutches, or walking stick. So how we are going to accommodate these type of children with crutches and walking sticks, tricycle, walker, wheelchair, right? So we have to have more space in the classroom. And how they are going to use washrooms, right? So the wheelchair, the child will be able to take the wheelchair inside the washroom, right? And the switches also have to be in the lower height. The school can make a team teachers, therapists, resource teachers, civil work personnel, and the members of school management committee to ensure to make the school accessible and barrier free. So the team will ensure buildings of ramps in the school with suitable gradients, providing suitable graded steps with convenient handrails in the corridors. Because they can't climb, right, without these handrails, right? They have to have a support, right? So the corridors also, so you have to make care that so clearly marked passageways to assist in continuous movement by doors. So normal children used to climb very quickly, right, and running in the steps. So the differently able children might get these disturbances, and sometimes they might fall, right? And enough space inside the bathroom for easy access for wheelchair users, enough space in the classroom for their mobility, suitable heights of the installed electric switches and other equipment, suitable heights of the furniture in library, laboratory, dining place, and so on. Right? So before we start the inclusive education, we have to be, so actually we are not ready, right? The schools are not ready. So they don't have the infrastructure to accommodate these type of things, right? So there are clearly laid down guidelines for these by the office of the chief, right? So can anyone, any teacher, maybe you all are teachers, right? Have you all got these type of facilities in your school for in these differently able children?
We have got in our school, madam.
What type of facilities?
The facilities, actually, we don't have that much of facilities. So those children are taken to the washroom with the help of the teachers, right? And they are in the classroom, most probably the parents give everything for them to get their work done with the support of the teachers. So the things which are necessary for the students are given to the students, so for the teachers. Then thereby the
So
teachers make
the
use of the
class teacher is helping. Is that so? Class teacher.
especially the napkin and all these things are clipped
So
and
are
separately
you
given.
having an assistant teacher in those classes? Only one
Yeah, there
teacher?
are no, there are two male teachers and one female teacher.
Ah. So
So
it's a
those three are
separate
the,
class.
yeah, why not separate?
So
Special.
actually the inclusive concept is not to keep separate. So they also have to be in the normal class, right?
Normal
So
class.
uh,
Now we
in
have
the
divided that. we have given them as a special unit, so they are put in that class, not
Right.
with
So
other
they
children.
again they are going to feel that they are special and they are not normal, and they are going to meet the differently abled children only. So in that so to avoid
There's a
that,
problem.
they are
Yeah,
introducing this
yeah,
inclusive education.
there's a big issue in that case. But there
Mm,
was one boy, he didn't come and he
mm,
passed out from the school. So that
mm,
boy is somewhat, although he can't speak properly, but he can be able to understand. And in the sports meet, really, he actively participated and he became first in the race as well.
mm. So that's
The
that
opportunity
type
was
of
going to that.
children, differently abled children might have uh, uh, different that abilities, right? Maybe hardworking, or they are good in sports, they are good in drawing. Um, that's what I told about this multiple intelligence, right? So they don't have maybe the blind, or they can't talk properly, right? Both those restrictions are there, but they have some other skills, right? So that's what the teacher have to identify that and encourage. So here we don't have in our education system, even though that boy came first in the race, will it be um, possible to get a job in anywhere without certificate? Are they going to um, recruit that boy, right? So our this word of work also not accommodating this type of children. But recently, one this Melbourne Munchie biscuit factory, they are recruiting this type of differently abled children. And so one day, the Women's Day, we invite one of the leading lady from that company, and she only came and shared the experiences, right? So she told their working capacity is more than the normal people itself. So they can do very hard work. So biscuit preparation means so the skillful thing, no, right? There's nothing uh, to this education qualification and all. They are not, I think, carrying, right? So they are working. So they like to have more. So that type of attitude have to come to us, because they are also a part of us, right? Differently able children, we can't exclude them now, right? They also have to have a life, right? So there are clearly laid down guidelines for this by Chief Commissioner, strictly followed by constructing this support system, right? The old schools, old building, we can't do anything because we can't make changes, no, right? While they are constructing new buildings, right, they have to think of this inclusive system, right? So it should be ensured that unobstructed flooring, including slip resistant corridors, and an accessible playground and other recreational areas for all children who are using assistive devices, and providing appropriate furniture for individual child care made available, right? So we have to go to that this environment. Actually, we have to create an environment for them also. So resource teacher means that trained teacher, special a teacher trained in the special need area. So the teacher can understanding the difficulty of the children, maybe writing skills. They know how to develop the writing skill of these children, right? So the role of the teacher in the inclusive education, interaction with family, right? So as our that now this spoken now, he told that parents are also coming and help, right? So interaction with family, right? Especially these special need children means the parents have to help because it's a extreme work because one teacher can't manage
Excuse
with
me,
all.
madam.
Yes.
Ma'am, when we say that we have to
Mm.
consider these special need children also, is it about putting them together with normal children in a
Yeah,
classroom?
that is the inclusive education.
Then how the teachers will follow? Then there would be a curriculum designed for
That's it.
uh,
That's it.
yes.
That's what I'm explaining, right? We brought the concept of inclusive education into our education system, but we are
Yeah.
not prepared yet, right? So
Mm.
how that teacher is going to manage these different type of children? So that teacher must have a training regarding that, special training. But there are few teachers with special need training, and even that teachers also, if there are if those teachers are in normal schools, so they are not going to teach for special need children. So the deployment of teachers also have to be thing, right? And that's what I'm telling. Normal teacher can't do everything with the, it's very difficult. At least they have to provide an assistant teacher or at least a parent, right?
Excuse me, madam.
Mm.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, the questions arising from in this way, right? So because if we put all these children with a normal classroom, then I don't think that this is possible because I have never seen the class like this. Even when just namely we have to learn this, and I have never seen the children from special education are put to normal classroom and teach. This can't be happen. I don't know because most probably these classrooms are separated and during the interval time or other period these children can join with the normal children. That's another matter, but anyhow,
No, no, if they are
normally if
separate,
we teach the students in normal children we can't teach. They are making
no,
problems
that's not.
and
If the special need children are is in the separate class, so the normal children will not be with them. No, so how they are going to play with them? Right? So if they are together only, they will have interconnections and interactions. Sometimes they feel for them, right? So those are the things they need. So
Ma'am,
the normal children have to accept the differently able children.
plus we can put there now normal classrooms are there from grade 1 to 30, right? So
Yes,
which class we can put these disabled children because they are in different categories. Within disabled children, there are different types of students are there. So some
yeah,
students
that
can write,
that
some students
mental
can't write
retarded.
anything. They just
Now,
come to school.
no,
I
we
don't.
will learn the
Now for the exam,
different.
we can write like this, right? The children should be put in a classroom. We can write in the exam, but practically I don't know. For the exam, I can write. Okay, now disabled children should be put with the no, disabled children should put it with the normal children, normal students. So we are socialized and all. So can you show me, or have you ever seen a classroom within Sri Lanka put in these disabled children in one class? Right, but I don't know.
That is the rule. Now, you can't exclude any differently able children in a separate class. But
excuse me,
there
madam.
can be a unit, right? That can be a unit because these math, science, because they are very weak. So they can't pick up, because normal children also will get this disgusted. No, because the teacher, that's what that's what I'm explaining, right? When we are in this introducing this inclusive education, first we have to prepare our classroom, teachers, and everything relevant to the inclusive education. We didn't do that, right? All of a sudden they introduced. So the now teachers are, that's what they are not caring for the these differently abled children in the class. They are doing a normal lesson for all, right? So the differently abled children, if the teacher trained by somebody, right, or special need children, that actually they have to appoint one special need teacher plus normal teacher. Then I think they can handle it.
Excuse me,
But
madam.
no.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, madam. So the idea is to make those special need children to feel included, but the evaluating methods and all those will differ from normal children to these special children. Is that the thing?
Yes. So, even though just think, right, you are keeping them in a separate class, right? Okay. Are you all giving a different paper for them?
Yes, why
Even for
not?
the
They are disabled children, these children who will like to face the same paper. These students can't read, write, and just even can't then. It's actually different. Yeah, it's actually difficult for these students to read. So how
So that's
can
the evaluation. Right,
yeah,
evaluation
evaluation?
it
We
also
can
have to
evaluate
develop.
the students separately with the paper and everything. But same paper can't be divided, given curriculum is different and
Yeah,
syllabus
that's
and everything is different. But so
I
normally,
explained. The curriculum have to be moderated, and evaluation methods have to be evaluate them moderated, right? And also teachers have to be trained in special
Yeah.
education. So if those things are there, only you can manage, right? So that just a normal teacher can't manage an inclusive classroom. It's very difficult.
Yeah, ma'am. Excuse me. Even if there is a developed curriculum like this, which is adjusted for both, will it will it be enough for these normal children for their age? In disability also, in special needs children also, there are many categories, right? Some children, they all are not same. So
Yes.
yeah, so even if there is a curriculum developed to match both these children, it is still not like 100% right curriculum or 100% right system, right?
Even then, if we are moderating curriculum, again, we are excluding. We are treating them in different way. Right? So that's what inclusive education means. It's a new approach. They are now testing, right? The objective of this inclusive education is to give a confidence for the uh, differently able children, because always blind children is in the blind school. Deaf children are in the deaf school, right? So the hyperactivity and that type of children, they are not going to school because their schools are not admitting, right? So to get the experience of a normal children, so the children have to be in the normal class. They have to get the experience, right? Then they will say, we are also studying in this school. We are learning with normal children, right? So we can't expect 100% of this development. That means we can't expect the, like normal children, they will score marks, right? But that's what we have to check, right? So in my case, right, we never get any chance for that. But in my class, right, one polio student is with us, right? But it is not a huge effect, no, right? So we used to help her always. The walking is little bit different, right? And he can't climb and things, right? So sometimes he's having a scratches. So that type of student was there with us, only one student, right? And there are visual effects students and some one or two students with hearing aids. That type of students, they can include now, right? So the mental retarded children, hyperactive students, so those type of students, of course, it's little bit difficult to include in the normal system, right? So we are, that is what we are learning, right? What are the issues we have, right? So develop new learning strategies to be able to develop self-confidence. These are the role of teacher in the inclusive classroom, to be able to develop self-confidence, to be able to provide special facilities, to be able to look after their personal needs, to be able to recognize their hidden talents, right? So as Sir mentioned, right? So that student is very good in sports, hidden talents, right? So if the child is not in this school, definitely he won't participate in this athletic, and no one knows that differently able child's talent, right? And to include positive attitude in the able-bodied children. So the other objective is, right, the normal children have to understand the differently able children's feeling, right? If they are bullying, right, if they are not including them, right, so if they are cornering them, right, it will be worse, right? So the teacher have to create the attitude to help those type of children. Right? So when we are doing group activity, right, so the gifted children will be there, no? So we can take the help of a gifted children to help these type of differently able children. Because gifted children will quickly finish his or her work, then he will have more the time, he can spend more time with that type of children, right? So in that way, teacher have to have strategies, right? And
Actually,
so physical
differently able children have the mental retardation, right?
no,
And
mental retardation students will not be admitted to the normal schools now because it's very difficult.
I'm talking
So
about,
that
yeah,
type of
actually, I mean, yeah, I spoke with you regarding that special unit. You know, the students who have different skills, and that is something else. But I spoke with you regarding that disabled children. Actually, they mental
what type
retardation
of
children, and so that
so what
those
type
students are put in separate class. That's what I told you. In a
no what is
classroom, there may
the
be.
what are the
Yeah,
disability they are having? Why you all are excluding them?
no, madam,
Why
now they are.
then
No, I mean, by you
separate
didn't
groups
understand
are
what I told you. Excuse me. You didn't understand what I told you.
there?
Disabled children, actually, that is separate. Special unit we call. Special unit mean not this, not with the normal student. Normal students in the classroom, normal student, there may be different abilities of students are there. So you are talking about different skills of students in a normal class, or disabled children in a separate class. That's what, that is my question.
Inclusive education is not separate class, right?
Okay,
Inclusive education means.
okay, but
So
one
I
minute.
show some pictures also. No, a child is in the wheelchair also in the same the normal class.
Okay,
He's having
I mean
physical
by,
disability.
madam, excuse me, I mean by these students' mentality and power of memory is everything is okay. You mean by that?
No,
So,
no, no, we
huh?
are not going to compare those things, right? even we are not thinking about gender, potential, their IQ or anything, right? Every child have a right to be in the same classroom, right? To experience it.
It's okay. But do the parents of students like to be their children with these students? Can you
So
answer
that
that question?
the teacher
So
have to
Abhinav
put
can
in the
now, for an
attitude.
example, now you have a child, or I have a child. Do we like to put our children or child to that classroom? Who will like that?
No, that's what.
We
If
can
you
do that job. We can do that job all
if
together. We
you
can
don't
teach and
want to
everything
keep
is
the
okay.
child, you have to take out the child and take to another school. Because the school, the law is there now, right? Inclusive education means if a child come with differently able child, apply for the school, that the principal have to consider. You can't say no. The parents can complain to the police or Minister of Education, right? So inclusive education is a new approach, right? The normal approach, of course, we know, no, right? We are teaching the normal children, we are admitting them, and even under. So we are thinking that normal children are same, but it is not, right? So even in that, different potential, different capabilities, interest, everything is there. Difference are there, but this one, differently able children also to be included. That is the concept of inclusive education. We will learn special education in the next classes, right? So here you can see some. Uh, have you seen this type of uh, these instruments in your schools? Especially you told about that special need unit. No, have you got this type of these instruments in that special need unit?
Normally, I have observed, yeah, different type of things they have, but they are learning with the help of the teachers. But yeah, that's right.
No.
Normally, they're not
I'm
there.
asking whether these type of
Normally, toys and other things,
instruments.
cars. Yeah, instrument,
So because
toys.
this child
They
can't
have,
hold
they
the
have
pencil, so
smart TV
there
as
is a gadget. Yes. So these type of they available in that school unit.
well. Yeah, yes.
So here the 12 pieces, right? For different child have different type of disability. That means hold the pencil and write. So some children can't even draw or they can't write in the straight line, right? So they are using this type of gadgets, right? So here, see, this is the inclusive setup. Here, this child is in the wheelchair and with the same, they are doing the exam, right? So these pictures are from foreign countries. Here you can see this disabled child is also having an opportunity to play. So these are the rails, so they can move here and there, right? Here you can see this child is also in the wheelchair, but they are in the same class.
In the
So
same
these
class,
children
but
are not mentally retarded,
oh
right?
yeah, now
Physically.
I think these students are bodily weak, but mentally okay. That's why these students are in the
No,
same
mental
class.
retarded children cannot be in the same class.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mental
So,
retardation. These children are not mental retardation. These students are bodily weak. That is something else. But these
so that's
students
what
are brain.
the
The
teacher
brain
must be
is
able to identify the special need of the child. because in the small age, very difficult to understand. Sometimes even the visual effects, hearing effects, that also have to be identified the
Children.
teacher. So yes,
So when we say special need children here, we refer to only physically challenged children. Is that the thing?
physically here, these three are physically affected, right? Not mentally.
Then okay. Then these children can be put in the same. I am
Right.
talking
So,
about
will it be possible? Is there a place like this? Can wheelchair come to your classrooms? Is that a possibility? Washrooms are there to move?
Ma'am, so in this inclusive education subject, we are talking about arranging the environment to include these children as well.
These
We
children
refer
are
to only, we refer only physically challenged
children
children, right?
also in the classroom means, so they have to have the facility to
they
go
have
for
the
the
physical
washroom, to use the blackboard, use the switches, right, and to draw, move here and there around. So those things have to be considered.
So we are not talking about the mentally
No,
challenged.
mentally retarded children normally they are not bringing to school, no, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So they have to treat it in different way, right?
That is the
So
classroom I told you. That is something else in our special
yeah,
unit. That's what I told
mentally
you.
retarded person means that person is not in a position to learn, no, right? So here the learning and we are preparing learning environment for this type of children, right?
Can those students put to a special unit? So mental retardation children should be
So
separated,
they
right?
even for that they have to have a
Do
special
you
unit when
agree on that? Do you
trained
agree on
teacher.
that?
Yes, so
I mean, why do
you
you
can't
agree
keep,
on that?
yeah, mental retarded means they are
Yeah.
not in a position to learn. That means
Okay.
you can't have
They
them
should
in
be
the
put
class.
in separate class. Is it all right?
They can separately handle.
Yeah, that's what I told you earlier.
Yeah, that unit is not in the school. That is not in under it's not coming under inclusive education. Right?
Ma'am, I have a question. Then,
Yeah,
those
you
those
have to
Downs,
understand this meaning of
then those children with Down
yeah.
syndrome,
So in
they
this
are
picture,
madam.
all type of children are there, right? And they are together, right? And here you can see, so you can have the disability, physical problem can be there, communication, behavior. So mental retardation is type of ability, but you can't have this type of children. That's what the teacher must understand regarding the disability. What type of, because sometimes parents also, uneducated parents can't identify the real problem of their children, right? And the inclusive education means this, right? It's a new approach towards educating the children with disability and learning difficulties, right? We will learn what is disability and what is learning difficulty. Two different things, right? With that, of normal ones with the same roof. This is what inclusive education, right? So the meaning of inclusive education here you can see, inclusive education is defined as a learning environment. You are creating a learning environment that promotes the full personal, academic, and professional development of all learners, irrespective of race, class, color, gender, disability, sexual preference, learning style, and language. Everyone will be in the same class. They will have some fun. So when you all are going to teach that science, maths, or hard subjects, you can't have them in the same group. You have to have a separate group and you have to send with a separate, that's what separate, the special need teacher, trained teacher have to be there, right? So I think they gave training for principals as well as teachers to work under inclusive education, right? So these are the suggestions, right? The government have to give highlights policy and budgetary priority to improve the education system to enable them to include all children regardless of individual differences or difficulties. To adopt the principle of inclusive education, enrolling all children in regular schools unless there are compelling reasons for doing otherwise. To include the education of disabled children in teachers training programs, to access general education system for the children, to expand the coverage to reach unreached population. So now in the teacher training programs, we are doing teaching practice now. Right? We are doing teaching practice for normal children. Right? So these teachers, special need teachers, have to do the teaching practice with these type of children. Maybe even mentally retarded children, how they are going to teach, whether they have to test it. Right? So that's it. We have to give the training for the teachers. Get ready for the teachers to work in the inclusive setup. So reforms in curriculum, what we can do, what we can change in the curriculum, use of teaching aids, simple curriculum, adequate facilities, participation in games, cooperative curriculum, providing reading material, participation in co-curricular activities, multi-level in flexible curriculum. So I told about that Thailand classroom, no, right? There are 4 groups, right? So 2 groups are normal children, another 2 groups are differently able children. So the teacher handled that 4 groups in the same class. That is what we call inclusive setup. That teacher is using differentiated instruction for them, but they are all together in the same class, right? So a design of classroom for inclusive education, size of class, teaching aid, restriction of time. So special need children must, they are very slow. They will take more time, right? And arrangement of light. So even for the examination, we have to give more time for them. Attention to physical needs, special attention to disabled children. So under inclusive education, you have to use cooperative learning and peer tutor. So that's what I told, peer tutor. You can use gifted children as a tutor for those type of children. So the attitudinal change also will be there, right? At the same time, the teachers, that is one strategy of teacher, right? So multisensory teaching. So how you can use, through information technology, you can do this. So the supportive services, guidance and counseling, physician, therapist, psychologist, support services by parents, teachers, special teachers, and community. Others, nurses, assistive technology, alternative materials, teaching aids, special provision for assessment, etc. So in the conclusion, the inclusive education responding to special needs will thus have positive returns for all pupils, all children and young people of the world with their individual strengths and weaknesses, with their hopes and expectations, have the right to education. So it is not our education system that have a right to a certain type of children. Therefore, it is the school system of a country that must be adjusted to meet the needs of all its children. So if all the children are having rights to education, Government have to produce or adjusted to meet the needs of all its education, the children, different children. We can't say no, normal children can't be with these type of children, like, right? So think of that. We are thinking of our normal children can't stay with special need children, right? If you have a special need children, you will think in the other way, right? So see the plight of that if a parent having a small, that's, so that's what I gave an example, right? One teacher, she gave the early retirement to keep the child in the normal school. Every day, the teacher is going with the child, like a shadow teacher, right? So that feeling we have to understand. So the children also must understand the feeling of the differently able children. So here, the normal children and the differently able children all are graduated, right? This is Montessori graduation. Right now, you read this special education. Earlier, we learn about inclusive education, no? So you can see the difference. Special education. You are talking about special education, special unit, no, right? Special education or special need education is the form of education planned for the students with special needs in a way that address the students' individual differences and needs. Right? So special education is separated earlier, right? In 2000, right? So they started to included all, right? So the differences, individual differences, and the needs are different. Special education is instruction-based program that is specially designed to meet the special needs of the children with disabilities. And special education means specially designed instruction that meet the unusual needs of the exceptional students. Right, so we are talking about exceptional students. Mental retarded students are exceptional. Right, so that, but which parent like to have special need children, right? So, and if they have a special need children, they have to look after them. No, can they kill them? Right. So that child also have the rights to live, and the same time have the rights to go to school. So under inclusive education, we are giving an opportunity to experience the school life, right? If we are separating and we are putting them into a separate school, they will meet only the differently able children only, right? If the child is in the normal school, they are moving with normal children. That will give a confidence for them. They will be happy, right? So special education is a form of learning provided to the students with exceptional needs, such as students with learning disabilities or mental abnormalities. special materials, special facilities. Right? So in the unit, special education unit, you have to have the specialized, you have to use specialized teaching techniques, special materials and special facilities. Right? So actually your homework is to read something related to inclusive education. Right? So there are 6 students, right? So you have to read inclusive education, and in the next class you have to explain to me what is inclusive education, right? You have to have a clear picture of inclusive education, because now we are having inclusive education in our country, but we can't understand. Normally, most of the class don't have a differently abled children inside. But without knowing, there are people with visual effects, hearing effects, and physical difficulties, right? Learning difficulties, right? We will learn what is learning difficulties and disabilities, right? So the philosophy of special education claims that each individual with a disability is entitled to the support necessary to maximize his or her potential. Right? So special education means we can't just leave that child, right? The teacher have to try maximize his or her potential, right? So maybe very less progress. Anyway, that is needed, right? We can't say that this child can't learn or anything. Please take this child out. You can't speak like that, because that child have a right to be in the school and to study, right? And purpose of special education aims at ensure that students with disabilities are provided with the environment that allows them to be educated effectively. So disabilities that qualify for special education include all type of physical, mental, and behavioral disabilities. So we saw in those pictures physical disability. They can't walk, right? And they are in the wheelchair. They are using this but maybe even if so during the war period, right? Lot of children lost their hands, legs. So those children also have the rights to education. They are not mentally retarded, no, physically disabled. So that children can be accommodated to the normal class, right? But anyway, those who are normal, right, they are having some sort of different, no, they can excluded them. So the teacher can't do, no need to allow them to do that. And the objective of the special education to provide appropriate educational program related services to each child with a disability requiring special education from age 3 through 21 years. So to provide activities that foster social development and adjustment into the regular school and community activities. So recently, I think the government import, right, buses to accommodate these special need people. Right. So the foreign countries, of course, they are treating them in a very respective manner, right? Everyone will help. So separate seats for them, and the bells are there for them to ring easily, right? and even the wheelchair people can it's easily get into the bus because that bus is having a footstep, right? So that type of buses imported from China, right? And they are going to import another set of buses also to the country. That means we have more people like that. So they also have to live with us. We have to respect them. That is not their fault, right? So objective of special education to identify disability among the preschool children, right? So we have to start from the preschool, right? To provide opportunity to participate in an approved preschool program within a reasonable distance from the child's home, to provide a coordinated and comprehensive instructional program from kindergarten through high school, right? So just to share one of my experience, right? So when I'm working um, in one of my previous place, right? So one lady worked with us, right? And she didn't have children. She adopted one child from the hospital, right? So to see, right? So after even 3 months, so she realized that something is different with child, right? So she went and check up. So that child can't hear and speak both, right? So the doctor who gave that child requests them to give back the child to the hospital so they can look after. But the thing is that lady kept the child for 3 months now, so she don't want to leave that child because without noticing, without knowing, she adopt the child. So now she continuously still she's looking after that child. Every day she used to come with that child, and she learned this mm, what is that machine, uh, letter machine. She learned that because of the child, and she's translating also. Now she's earned from that. She's translating exam papers, right? Uh, so she tried, and I think she got she now just 3 passes or something. Anyway, that girl did exam also. She bought a machine and it took so much effort. And I left that institution. I don't know what happened. And that lady also got retired, I think. So we have to feel for them, right? As a mother, she's not excluded. No, no, I can't keep this child. So she tried, and possible things she did for the child, right? And she can't walk properly, and she can't see, right? And the girl also, right? So a lot of issues. Right, okay. And your homework is read something related to inclusive education. Everyone have to give a explanation regarding inclusive education. I will also bring some more explanation regarding inclusive education, right?
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Madam, will you upload these PPTs here in chat box?
To where?
Chat box.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm uploading. It will take some time, I think. It's uploading.
Okay, madam. All right. Thank you.
So actually the inclusive education, special education side is there are a lot of work opportunities in foreign countries, right? And it's a good area. Okay, it's uploaded.